Yo, geek protagonist. Haha. So I meant I saw Masters of the Universe last night. I had to go to work and stuff, so wanted to give my review and thoughts on it. I got popcorn buckets. I'll show those in another quick video, but I'm not gonna do that in this video like I've been doing. So I'm gonna keep this short, sweet. Try to keep it spoiler free, and let you know the thoughts that I have. Now, for one, I went to see it with my brother. This is the first time in a long time my brother and I actually got to see a movie together. It's been like years. So we both love Masters of the Universe. We have similar geek taste. I'm more into Turtles. I do love my Incredible Hulk. Sometimes people forget that I really love Incredible Hulk too. My brother definitely loves that. We both love Voltron. He's more, Spider-Man. Where I'm heavy Ninja Turtles and Hulk. He's heavy like Spider-Man. We love Master Universe, stuff like that. But I'm like really into the geek stuff. He's there. Anywho, so we went to the movies. We saw it. And here's my thing. I'm going to say it like this. Now, I'm going to try to separate the crazy, crazy fun time thing I had with my brother. Me and my brother to get it, admittedly, that did turn it up. Like, we were like reliving our childhood. I remember watching Master Universe. He's a few years older than me, and we were kids watching it and stuff like that. So I am moving that aside because there was like a happiness we had with it. But I'm going to talk about the movie itself. One, this is to me Jared Leto's best performance. Now, I'm not one of those people who hates on Jared Leto. I actually think he's a very, very, very good actor. I think sometimes the roles don't always fit, but I liked him. Like, I liked him in Tron Ares. I like Tron Ares. I've liked Jared Leto and other stuff. I think he's a really good actor. To me, this was the best. His Skeletor, by far, to me, is his defining role in entertainment. He was so good. It's crazy. He was able to take Skeletor, that old school kind of Skeletor, a little bit of the more menacing one from the 2000 series, even the one from the CG He-Man Skip Leg Day series, because I know that one was probably the best, like Keldor, from what I've seen of it. I still got to sit down and watch the entire series. I watched a portion of it. But he was able to make it his own, but yet still be Skeletor. And that's the sign of a really good actor. He has his own way. He still was that, they played up that meme stuff, like the crazy stuff he says, how Skeletor is. He had his own laugh. He wasn't like, "Hi, He-Man." And he wasn't like Mark Hamill's one. He had his own type of voice, but it fit. And it was this style, and he would do these motions and different inflections when he wanted to do something. He was still just evil, but he was also the cackling, mustache twirling, villain. And he was able to balance all of it. And I think that performance was amazing. And I know my friend, she loves Skeletor. That's like her jam. So I think she's going to like it. Anyone who's really a big fan of Skeletor, I think he did you a lot of justice. The story, I think, was good. Some people were like, "Oh, it kind of slowed down when he got there." I felt like it was fine. To be honest with you, the beginning of the movie is amazing, and it needed to slow down to kind of tell the story. I know some people are like, "On Earth," I was like, "No, it's a good story. He got here and how he, what he had to deal with, and you got this idea of what was going on, and then he had to go back to the situation, and he had to deal with his situation. Craziness, right? So." I also thoroughly enjoyed the Teal actor. Sir Idris Elba brings it like he always does. The guy who's playing He-Man actually did, I think he did a great job, and I see why they wanted to pick a Prince Adam to a He-Man. There's cool, little nods to the original. I know some people are like, "Oh, the CG got wonky sometimes." Listen. These are big budget things. There's a level of CG where I'm like, okay, you didn't put your foot into this. But I'm like, the CG was fine. Like, people looking for this stuff, I'm like, it was nothing that took you out the movie. Like, some people are like, sometimes the CG was just wonky, and sometimes it's not. That's just the way it is. I think it's because sometimes it's rushed. I think it's because of the tech. I think it's also because of this. I personally thought CG was fine. I didn't look at something and go, could I see the Uncanny Valley? Sure, but it was like, who cares? Get into the movie. Stop always worrying about. Like I said, I'm not saying don't ever worry about it, but unless it's something like Ant-Man Quantumania level, stop it. Because Quantumania looks horrible. Like, I actually went back and rewatched some of it, and I'm like, geez, this looks worse than it did the first time I watched it. This I thought was great. I thought Eternia looked awesome. Like I said, the villains were fantastic. There are characters that aren't in this, but I think that's because they may want to make more, and hopefully they will. The action was great. More action than you thought. I like the fact that they made fun of themselves. To me personally, I genuinely had some great laughs. And I personally think that it was right. Like, it had a comedy to it because there is a tongue-in-cheek thing of He-Man. Like, it's a little hokiness. I personally, I mean, some people may have been mild, may vary. I thought the comedy was great. And to be honest with you know what this movie reminded me of? Thor Ragnarok in all the good ways possible. I love Thor Ragnarok. And it reminded me of Thor Ragnarok. Even the way it, like, looked, the colors and everything, the attitude, the personalities, how they did stuff, what they did, how people spoke, how the stuff did. All the positive stuff you like in Thor Ragnarok, this had it. It had its own story. I like that. It had its own take. And his transformation was awesome. I like how they did the whole He-Man thing. I enjoyed the heck out of Teela. I enjoyed her more than I thought I would. And also, they did some stuff. I noticed that they made sure her hair was really red and she had blue eyes. Like when they first saw the images of her, I was like, she doesn't like Teela. She like, but now that they did that, I was like, oh, okay, y'all put a little something. And it was so cool too because some of the stuff looked just like the toys. Like there's a scene, like I said, it's not really spoiler. There's a scene where someone's grabbing armor, and it literally has the snap-on feature like the old toys used to, where you would snap on. Great touch. There's all these like little touchbacks, these little harkings, these things. Like I said, it was funny. It was entertaining. I was smiling from here. Me and my brother loved it. I enjoyed this movie from top to bottom. As of right now, it's probably my favorite movie of 2026. It's not that it's the greatest movie of all time. I wanted a movie that made me feel like a kid again. And I wanted a movie that was just fun, action-packed, without trying to bog down with the other stuff. Don't listen to the people, because there's this thing going around where they're like, oh, the red pill people are going to be angry, the toxic masculinity, blah, blah, blah. Don't let the media fool you. As a matter of fact, start ignoring these fools, okay? Here's how it is. If you're a He-Man fan, whether you watched the crappy Revelation and Revolution, whether you watched other stuff, old stuff, the 2000 series, any of them, one of the things you've learned about Prince Adam, if you read the comics, he's different than a lot of the other He-Men. He's more empathetic, and he has a certain way about him where he only fights to protect and stuff like that. But that's always been an Adam thing. When you go with Hero or any of the others, they're a little bit more brawn and brute strength. And even Revolution, and I don't care if spoilers, crap, even that had a thing in it where he was Prince Adam when he was around the other previous heroes. They're all their super modes, but he's his regular self. He didn't stay that way. He could have, but he didn't. He chose not to because he only wanted the power to come out when it does. He's a little bit different in how he handles situations, and he needs someone like that. So it's more about, and they were like, oh, this makes the right people mad. Like this whole garbage that the media is doing, they're the ones separating us. So they're trash. Because this is what it was. There were times, they even explained in it, you do need that brute strength. But there are times that as a man, you also need to not always try to bulldoze through everything. And that was kind of the lesson. I think that's always been a lesson in He-Man. Like, people sometimes just remember masculinity. Like, no, He-Man was a thinking man's hero. And, yeah, he had the power, but it wasn't always about that. It was also about what he did with it. So, I personally, I'm going to be fair. Now, I'm going to say what I will. This one blew my mind. I enjoyed the heck out of it from top to bottom. But as a film, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to say I would definitely put this as a should buy. I think it's if you said A minus B plus, like if you like He-Man, it was fun. It was what it was, and it was quirky. Some people may have a few issues here or there, but overall, I think it was a really decent movie, and I hope they do more. And also, just so you know, there's 3 after credits. But I really want them to do more with this. And I want to get, I'm hoping by word of mouth, because I haven't seen anyone say they didn't like it. Even people that said it was kind of corny, it was corny in the right way. So please go see this movie. If you get a chance, I don't care if it's a matinee or something. I use the T-Mobile Tuesday. If you got T-Mobile, they got a $5 ticket. I really want this franchise to keep going. And I want more. I want Thundercats. I want Silverhawks. I know Voltron's coming.
But honestly, I think if you even remotely like He-Man, you're going to enjoy this movie to some degree. Even if you don't, it's just a fun, cool space adventure with barbarians, and it has its own uniqueness and its feel, and it's funny, and it just, I don't know. It just was a good time. Like I said, they even did some stuff back where it was like just corny, but it was good. Thor Ragnarok. If you like Thor Ragnarok, I think you'll like this movie. So that's what I say. For me personally, it was blew my mind though. Maybe it's a should buy, maybe a good time for you. I could say it could be either one of them, but if you're a hardcore He-Man fan, honestly, I think this will blow your mind in the sense that it's not that it's the greatest film ever, but they did all the right stuff and it made you feel good. That's what I say. So that's how I view it this time. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see you.